Hi, everybody. This is Prescott Balch. In case you don't know me, I'm the guy that's running around the state trying to help communities with their data center proposals. I was involved back in August, September, early October in Caledonia with my community's data center proposal, and we successfully got Microsoft to withdraw that at the 11th hour. I've learned a lot through that process, and I've certainly learned a lot in communicating with other uh, municipalities around the state and even multiple states now. So I was asked by Brittany to put this together to try to just give you some brief what to do now thoughts. I want to start just by describing this as doing the job you would want your elected officials to do. You cannot assume that they are going to do this the right way. And the stakes are too high for you to just let them try to figure it out. So I think the best way to describe what you're doing here is becoming an unelected elected official to try to help them get to the right answer. This starts with simple organizational details, which are obvious that you probably already have started. Get an online meeting place, find a small core team, make sure they're dedicated to have both commitment and time. This is not a small amount of time. It will be probably a multi-month effort that's fairly stressful and time consuming. So make sure whoever that is, that they can make that commitment. Importantly, you should set some ground rules for the team. These are in the online meeting place. These are rules that we used. You don't have to use them, but they worked for us. So take them for what they're worth. No politics. This is a unique issue in that it crosses political boundaries. Everything these days seems to be very partisan. This issue is nonpartisan, and it's refreshing, to be frank, but I would highly recommend setting a ground rule that politics has no place. This is about your community, a data center proposal, and what it means to you. So you should treat it that way, and you should ask people politely to keep the politics out. You should also strongly encourage everyone being welcome, whether they are pro or con data center. You want engaged dialogue. You want to hear the pros and cons. You want to hear what people are thinking, what questions they have, and potentially you want to change people's minds in that forum. As long as everybody's polite and professional and actively engaging in constructive dialogue, you should let them stay and encourage them to do more of it. If you do have to apply rules for removal, just make sure they're evenly applied. You need to do the basic signs, petitions, flyers, you name it, whatever your communication strategy is, get it started now. Make sure that everyone is aware that you're an organized group. Show up at meetings, public meetings, and make people aware of your organization's presence and begin speaking for that organization in a fairly formal way. You should also, unfortunately, think about finding a lawyer. You don't need one immediately, barring anything weird with your proposal out of the gate. But when you do need one, and if you do need one, you don't want to be looking for one. You want to have one ready to engage. So do your homework there soon. You also need to learn how local government works. Not very many people do. Many people couldn't tell you the difference between the planning commission and the city council, let alone what they approve and what it means. You need to understand what steps the proposal will have to go through and who votes on what, when, and what does it mean? Is it binding or not binding? You should also know when you will have opportunity for public comment and what the constraints are. Is it 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes? Is it planning commission? Is it city council, etc.? Also, do your homework on who's making the decision. Who is on the board? What makes them tick? What do they do for a living? What arguments and analogies, metaphors, how would you talk to somebody such that you might have a constructive dialogue? A farmer is going to react to different analogies and metaphors than a banker or an accountant. So the more you know about the people who are going to make the binding vote, the better. Plan a communication strategy for influencing them. I would recommend in-person meetings if you can get them. Don't bother with email. You can use an email campaign to show that you have numbers, but don't expect a lot of response from email. It's probably too much volume. already. And when you start adding more on top, they're not going to respond. Likewise with phone calls, sometimes you'll get people that answer, sometimes you'll get people that answer back. It can be part of your strategy, but the best thing you can do is get face-to-face time with them to show that you've got some human beings on the other side of the discussion. You should also very much analyze your zoning. Find somebody to really dig deep into it and understand how it works and how it works, particularly in the context of a data center proposal. A lot of communities are not prepared with their zoning to deal with this new beast that are hyperscale data centers. Lastly, your arguments matter. They matter a lot, in fact. I think you should start trying to challenge yourselves to be honest about what the pros and the cons are. If you are reflexively opposed to this data center without being open to what the honest pros are, you will be dismissed as being reflexively opposed, and it will be counterproductive. You have to be open-minded and understand that there are indeed undeniable pros. They're largely monetary, but understand what they are and be ready to talk about them. Be ready to talk about what the risks are that are associated with them, and those risks become the cons. Know why your community is standing against this. Sometimes it could be financial risk. Other times it could be, this is a terrible parcel near residents, near schools, near hospitals. There are a number of different reasons depending on the community and the location of the parcels. And so understand why you're against it. What are your strongest arguments? What are your weakest arguments? And be brutally honest with yourselves and make sure that you're bubbling to the top and making the strongest arguments heard most commonly. If you focus a lot of attention on the arguments that won't sway people's opinion, those could be fantastic arguments that ring true, but if they're not going to change minds, you might as well deprioritize them. You have to be brutally practical about getting a majority of votes that go your way. Lastly, I'll say seek expert help from communities that have come before you. Caledonia, DeForest, Menominee, everybody's had some measure of success. Greenleaf, another one. Reach out to those communities through their online meeting places, largely on Facebook. They're easy to find. You can get help really quickly. You can seek out the expertise that is needed uniquely to your situation. And there are lots of people willing to donate their time and expertise to help you out, myself included. So good luck getting started with this. And I know it was stressful for me. There's a lot of help for you, and there's probably a long way to go because you've fortunately gotten engaged really early. The downside of that is you have a lot more work ahead of you and a lot more time to stay engaged on this, to see it through to conclusion. But it is possible to win the battles, to convince people of the right answer, whatever that might be for your community. And with that, I will conclude and say, I'm sure we'll be talking again soon. Thanks a lot.